Those who do have some love for Jesus Christ, but for whatever reason, are currently without these manifestations of Christ at this particular time in their lives. And generally speaking, there are two sorts of such people. Number one, some of you have never had these experiences where Christ has revealed himself in the way and manner that we've been discussing. And number two, some of you have had such manifestations of Christ, but lost them. So let's consider both scenarios one at a time. For starters, as I said, some of you have never had these special manifestations of Christ's love to you. It may be that you're simply a young Christian. Perhaps it was only a very short time ago that you were one of Satan's best students, serving him with all your might and strength. But by and by, the Lord has hedged up your way with thorns, preventing you from continuing on in your way of sin. And so he has, at some point fairly recently in your past, opened your eyes to see your sins and graciously made you sensible of the dangers that were looming over your life and soul. But so far, anyway, your eyes have not yet been to the comforting reassurances that you are and will continue to be Christ forever. Oh, you've seen Christ, to be sure, and he has been revealed to you. That you have been to give yourself up to him. But as yet, you are still, to some degree, in the dark as to your spiritual. You're under doubts and fears and convictions over just how conversion really was, and just how rotten your heart still really is. So you fear that you're perhaps still little more than just a hypocrite, and that eventually you're apt to fall away like other false professors before you. You fear that the trifold strength of the devil and the flesh and the world will prove in the end too hard for you and prevail so that they will ultimately draw you back into your former ways of sin, and in so doing, eventually pull you down into the bottomless pit of hell itself. Despite your best efforts, these thoughts still swirl around in your mind and cause a deep dread in your spirit. Fearful expectations of God's wrath and future judgment still trouble you, and such thoughts bring a growing remorse from your heart and countless tears from your eyes. Yet, and here's the thing, despite all of those troubling thoughts and concerns, you are nonetheless resolved to seek God whenever and wherever he can be found. You have purposed in your heart to diligently attend upon him in the means of grace. And there you wait upon the Lord for the Lord. You are resolved, notwithstanding any and all discouragements, that you will be the Lord's, though you're not 100% sure whether or not he is yours. You are resolved that Christ shall have your heart, and you have hung the fate of your soul on his promises, even though you're not sure you're yet accepted by him. You desperately want him, but you fear, at least at times, that he doesn't want you. So, let me ask, does that describe your state? Well, if it does, then let me say this as a word of encouragement. If that is your heart, if that's the place of concern and angst that you find yourself in, you are most certainly amongst those who love Jesus, and whom Jesus Christ loves in return. And so of this you can also be sure. He will manifest himself to you.